Bali. Welcome to Bali and welcome to the youth event of the 6th Forum of the United Nations Alliance of Civilizations. I think this morning each one of us woke up and we certainly looked at the beauty of Bali. The sun, the ocean, I would say the beauty of living here. However, friends, I would say it's likely changing. A famous quote from the African savannah. We can say that every morning in Bali, a gazelle wakes up. And the gazelle knows that it must outrun the fastest lion to survive. But every morning, or better, this morning in Bali, a lion wakes up. And it knows that it must run faster than the slowest gazelle, or it will starve. So it doesn't matter today whether you feel that you are the lion or the gazelle, you'd better be running. Today is your day, and we better run together for the upcoming 12 hours in one of the most fruitful experiences of our life. Today, youth from all over the world, it is your day. You're bringing your community. You're bringing your story. You're bringing your pain and your joyfulness, your spirit, your belief, and also your international vision to the highest political level. I would say that we are very fortunate to be welcomed here by the highest authority of the United Nations Alliance of Civilizations. It comes from a geographically small country, but with plenty of resources. Natural resources, intellectual resources, cultural resources. He spent 20 years in the UN board and is one of the most knowledgeable persons in interpreting, reading, and understanding this same UN board. He was the president of the 66th session of the General Assembly of the United Nations. He is today the High Representative of the United Nations Alliance on Civilizations. Excellency, Mr. Nasser al-Nasser, welcome and thank you very much for being with us today. The floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. Your Excellency and a dear friend, Marty Nantitawa, Minister of Foreign Affairs, dear youth, partners, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure for me to be in activities of the 6th UNAOC's Forum with the kick-off of the youth event. Together with the Minister, Dr. Ligawa, I warmly welcome you to Bali as you are about to embark into a crucial collective endeavor with your fellow participants to this youth event. You are part of a select group of 100 young leaders selected from over 3,000 applications from all over the world. That in itself is quite an achievement. But this achievement is only the beginning of a long and certainly challenging journey that you will take together. You are here with a great group of youth who are as motivated, as engaged, as ready to contribute to advancing the mission of the United Nations Alliance of Civilizations. Together, you represent what the world needs to make progress when it comes to preventing conflict, building peace, fostering social cohesion. I firmly believe you are what the world needs, but sometimes the world does not fully recognize or measure correctly the vital role that you play in shaping our societies. Your presence here and your development of youth recommendations is a step toward the proper recognition of what you bring to the table when it comes to advancing the mission of the UNAOC. I am glad to share with you that when it comes to engaging young people as partners to peace building, the UNAOC is viewed as a pioneer by the youth themselves. The UNAOC sees youth engagement as integral to its mission. In many places around the world, young people are the majority, but their contribution is not seen or sought. We will not be successful in fostering peace if it continues to happen. In order to support, on one hand, the recognition of young people's amazing efforts to foster peace in their communities, and on the other hand, the fact that they need to be at the table with other decision makers. The UNAOC offers a wide range of projects, training, and events such as this one. Together, these projects, trainings, and events make the UNAOC a platform for young leaders who are working hard to reduce tensions, advance peace, progress, and increase social cohesion across the globe. I am proud to say that we engage a large number of youth from conflict zones who are regularly sidelined in peace processes. While we know very well that these youth and youth organizations are already succeeding in their work and are already very knowledgeable, we invest on them so that they can become beacons of social change in their communities. In doing so, the UNAOC has contributed to the growing recognition over the last few years that young people's participation in peace building is fundamental to reaching durable peace. Despite this need recognition, the UNAOC will continue to advocate for a larger role for young people in peace building, and we do so in many ways, some of them unexpected. As an example of this is the Peace App project developed by UNAOC and the UNDP. Peace App is a global competition promoting digital games and act as venues for cultural dialogue and conflict management, drawing on the unique cultural resources and experiences of development, technologicals, and building young peace builders around the world. These apps invest individuals to create new digital games and apps to foster dialogue that prevent violence. As more traditional example, we work with other UN agencies, NGOs, and youth partners on the development of the guiding principles on the role of youth in peace building. These principles are designed to inform targeted and inclusive peace-building strategies and programs that systematically promote and ensure participation and contributions of young people. I know that the Youth and Peace Building breakout session offered tomorrow at the forum will showcase a number of UNAOC's youth partners that are involved in peace processes. These youth, along with people in attendance on the breakout session, will have opportunities to contribute to the development of the operational guidance linked to these guiding principle. While it will certainly sound interesting for you to attend this youth focused breakout session, I encourage you to take a look at other breakout sessions offered as part of the forum program. You need to make your presence known and your voice heard on other topics. After all, as I say all the time, young people are concerned by everything around them. There are breakout sessions about freedom of speech, migrant integration, interreligious dialogue, the power of sports, arts, music, and entertainment to foster cross-cultural understanding. You are most welcome in all of these breakout sessions. Make your opinion about these things known to other foreign participants. I thank you and I wish you good luck.
I say also thank you for setting up a little bit the pace of our dreams. We say that we need to run today. I think indeed that we are all here, no? With an open mind and an open spirit, but at the same time we are also all different. Now, there are 3 words that express this concept in a much better way than I did. And these 3 words are Bineka Tunggal Ika. They mean, or better, they are translated in English as unity in diversity. This unity in diversity is the motto of this country, but it is also the motto of the forum. I think there is no better person here to lead us today through the meaning, in fact, of those 3 words. He studied and worked around the world, so a little bit as you or many of you are doing today. He represented his government and his people at the United Nations in New York, and he then came back to serve his country from within. He's the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, and we owe him a deep thank you for hosting us in this paradise, in fact. I give the floor to Your Excellency, Dr. R.M. Marty N. Natalegawa, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia.
Thank you very much, my friend, for your very kind introduction. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu. Peace be upon us. Shalom. Very good morning to all. I'd like to begin by paying a huge and really warm tribute to my very good friend, Excellency Mr. Nasir Abdul Aziz Al Nasser, the High Representative for the United Nations Alliance of Civilization. Many of you may not be aware that His Excellency would be one of the very few people in the world who have served both as the President of the General Assembly with distinction, as well as the President of the Security Council, when our two countries were both members of that very important body. Having served in the Security Council, having served as President of the Council, President of the General Assembly, and now serving as the High Representative of the Alliance of Civilizations, I think it really reflects very well the capacity, the ability, and his passion, the passion that he brings to the very important responsibility that is on his shoulder today. I'd like you all to give him once again a warm applause. My friends, I know this is rather early in the morning. Quite a few of you would have just arrived very late last night or even very early this morning. Quite challenging to have such an early morning session. I will be therefore very brief in sharing some thoughts this morning, not wanting to take up too much of your time. My first and foremost task is essentially to welcome you all to Bali. And we'll be doing our best as Indonesia as host, or the venue of this conference, to ensure that your stay here in Bali will be a happy one and will be a pleasant one, and that you will be having opportunity to interact with the people here on this beautiful island beyond the conference hall itself. Sometimes, when I attend a gathering of this type, a youth forum event, whether here today, like today, within the UNAOC or other similar forums, I often notice and detect among youth there is that energy, that sense of possibility to get along, essentially. As youth, you are able to communicate directly, openly, in a very candid manner, to exchange views, even to recognize where differences exist, and yet, despite those differences, you are able, essentially, to get along. To respect differences, to respect diversity, because within it all there is still unity amongst us as part of the human family. Excellency, my friend, sometimes in this business of ours, I often wonder where we begin to lose the script between what is obviously prevalent among our youth. From such diverse nations, being able to come together and exchange views, and yet, despite differences, despite that very different background, in the end, being able to see the broad picture that brings them all together. Somehow, as we progress in our life and become so-called adults, people in governments, we find it often difficult to sustain the kind of solidarity, the kind of comradeship that is obviously often been demonstrated among the youth of today. So I feel, honestly, as a forum, we have much to learn, and we do expect a lot, plenty of recommendations from our youth on how we should conduct ourselves. I hope all of you who are in this room and having this discussion today will not lose that sense of idealism, a sense of being able to get things done, to look at the broad picture that is bringing you all together, once you are one day in a position to make a difference. People like His Excellency and myself, currently in a situation to be able to try to make a difference, we have to hold ourselves accountable day in and day out. What kind of contribution have we made and are we to make today? The theme of this conference, Unity in Diversity, is a very close one and a very dear one to Indonesia. It's not simply a theme, it's a fact of life as far as Indonesia is concerned. In the next few days, you will hopefully begin to learn even more how diverse Indonesia is as a nation, ethnically, in terms of religions, and many other considerations. We are, by definition, a diverse nation, and yet we are seeking to build unity within such diversity. Not a suppressive unity, one that comes about by the exercise of authoritarianism, but unity that is cultivated, that is nurtured through the application of democratic principles. How can we manage diversity, even better, celebrate diversity in a democratic setting, which often case in the short term does not always necessarily mean the bringing about of commonality, but often face sharpened divisions. This is some of the dilemma we often face to ensure that democracy, diversity, unity can actually go hand in hand, that they are not mutual, exclusive, diverse, opposite kind of objectives. I am aware that the program that the United Nations have organized for all of you are all well set, and as the High Representative said, I'm sure that you will have a very candid and constructive discussions among you throughout today. And I hope truly that you will submit good sets of recommendations for us when the forum meets tomorrow, the forum proper meets tomorrow. Our world is replete with problems, honestly speaking. I mean, all of you are seeing on our television screen images of conflict in many parts of the world, often case, and the victims are the young, the most vulnerable, people who have no responsibility in bringing the conflict situation in the first place. I'd like the youth that are convened here in Bali to be able to be a strong proponent to provide an alternative vision. No more of the cycle of violence and tensions, but more a virtuous cycle of trust and of belief in our commonality. As I had said before, I have often noted and admired the sense of solidarity, the sense of commonality that is obviously prevalent among youth, and I sometimes feel despondent how such spirits somehow dissipate as we progress on in our lives. You need to capture that spirit and to make sure that this becomes the norm rather than the exception. You need to keep the leaders honest by making sure that the kind of spirit of togetherness that you are displaying are actually demonstrated and similarly imbue the leaders of our nations. Indonesia is tremendously honored and humbled even by the opportunity to be host, working with the United Nations of this youth forum this morning. As I am led to understand, later on this morning you will have occasion to have on-site activities meant to ensure that the deliberation is even more inclusive, that you take advantage of the fact that you are actually in Bali, so that you are not actually confined to the conference room here. I hope you will take advantage of that opportunity to interact amongst yourself and as well to interact with the local young people as well. Thank you once again for being in Bali, and I am really looking forward in the next few days to continue our exchanges throughout this forum. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Shanti Shanti.